The three-day Fifth General Assembly of the Association of the World Electoral Bodies is wrapping up in Cape Town today. And this coincides with the National Assembly's vote on the Electoral Amendment Bill. But there are concerns that if the amendments are adopted in their current form, the bill will change the way national and provincial elections are concluded in South Africa, and not necessarily in a good way. Mbali Thethani is our reporter on the story. She's live just now from Cape Town. And Mbali, I imagine there are so many conversations around these amendments and whether or not they are to the benefit of the electorate.
Well, that's certainly right, and of course it is indeed the last day of the Fifth General Assembly of election bodies from around the world. Now, of course, we know that as these management bodies meet here in Cape Town today, just a stone throw away from where we are, we know that the National Assembly is expected to meet and vote today for that all-important Electoral Amendment Bill. And of course, we know that this is as they try to reach the deadline of December 10, as the IEC is expected to then prepare for the 2024 elections, and if whether they will then indeed be allowing for those independent candidates to then participate in the voting processes of this country. But just to give us a bit of more insight, Ayanda, we are joined by the IEC's commissioner, and her name is Dr. Nomsa Masuku. Nomsa, thank you so much for joining us here on Newzroom Afrika. Of course, today is indeed the final day for this conference, which has been taking place for 3 days now. When you look at how it has taken place and the conversations that have taken place as well, you know, I'm sure you might be quite delighted so far.
Yes, we are delighted. First of all, good morning to all your viewers, and thank you for having me. We are delighted. First of all, we have successfully allowed AWEB to have its EXCO meeting where decisions were taken. They were sent to the General Assembly yesterday, and key decisions were made which will allow the organization to function throughout the duration of our term. So we're very happy. It was not an easy meeting, the General Assembly, but we did everything that was supposed to be done that was on the agenda. So from a performance perspective, we are pleased.
Well, we meet today. Nomsa, it is indeed the last day at the General Assembly. We know that the National Assembly is expected to vote on something that's very important for the IEC, because you are then tasked with preparing this country to head into the 2024 elections, and with us now officially seeing those independent candidates on the ballot paper.
The more action that we see towards the goal of completing and curing the defect that the Constitutional Court identified and the directive that the Constitutional Court handed down, the more we feel at ease. Because without that, we are going to be pressurized when it comes to delivering what South Africans need, what South Africans expect of us, a free and fair and credible election. So the more there is movement, whatever movement it is, we want to make sure that the process proceeds with caution, but gets to some kind of finality so that we can begin to do our work.
Nomsa, we've seen a lot of civil society groups coming out defending and saying that the president shouldn't sign this bill into law. At the same time, you know, talking about the issues, saying that it is a very unique system and has never been done before. You know, your experience as the IEC, is this something new and unique? And, you know, if you can just enlighten us, where has this bill been practiced, or this electoral system, rather, been practiced?
My experience and everything that I even know theoretically, there's nothing exceptional or new about what is proposed in the bill as it stands today. If you look at, first of all, just practice, if you think about, for example, it depends what people are saying is new, that is unique, and I don't claim to know everything that they say is unique. Maybe they are saying everything is unique, or maybe they are saying particular aspects are unique. But from where I'm sitting, there is nothing unique about everything that is in there. It has been tried. It has worked in some jurisdictions. It is practiced in some jurisdictions. For example, I'll give you an example. Candidates, independent candidates, running for elections as independents, not because they belong to a political party, happens in something that we're very familiar with, the American democracy. I know that we typically focus on just the two big political parties, but what we fail sometimes to remember is that around those two, there are other people that run, and they get weeded out through the process.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Of course, that is Dr. Nomsa Masuku, the Ayanda, also then just giving us an insight in terms of what the electoral system will look like, when finally, it is approved to come into law. Of course, we know that Parliament needs, it needs to be concluded at least by December 10, and at the same time saying that, well, it's not really a unique system, and it has been practiced in some other countries, and one being quite popular is the electoral system being used in the United States of America. But Ayanda, today it is indeed expected to be a very busy day, a very long program. We also know that the former president, Thabo Mbeki, is expected to come to deliver a keynote address and, of course, to officially close off this 3-day conference.
Mbali Thethani, live to us there from Cape Town. Thanks very much indeed.